Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another Ben 10 Ultimate Alien reaction for you guys. This is Season 2, Episode 10 of the show. Of course, we'll not know the title until I get into the episode. Now, I was not planning on filming this tonight. I am tired. I'm ready to go to bed. However, my voice is starting to hurt, and I am afraid I'm getting sick, and I might lose my voice. It's possible, so I'm filming this now, so I do apologize if I'm not 100%. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get my energy up. So, yes, last week's episode was basic training, where Kevin, Gwen, and of course Ben had to go and do some basically classes and stuff like that, and they were getting trained by this guy who's just a hard ass and everything. There's a breakout nearby, and basically just chaos ensues and everything. And we got introduced to a new character as well. I think his name was Tack and all that. But anyways, so it's overall a decent episode, and I didn't really think about it too much. But someone in the comments saying this is pretty similar to the Generator Rex episode that had happened, I think, back in season, was it season 1? Yeah, it was season 1, where Rex and his friend, I forget his name, his friend's name on top of my head now. I really feel bad because I remember that character quite a bit, but I forget his name on top of my head right now. But they had to go to like basic training in a sense in an episode as well. So it's kind of crazy how they both, but they're made by the same people, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, so I'm curious where we're going to go from here, because that kind of basic training, which is kind of like a sidetrack situation. But then again, this season so far in regards to Ultimate Alien has been kind of sidetracking and kind of just random episodes and stuff like that. So maybe this is another one of those things where it's another random episode. Who knows? Let's jump to tonight, guys. Season 2, Episode 10 of Ultimate Alien. Let's go. What? Oh my god. Okay.
It'll take more than the likes of you to capture me.
You.
Then it's a lucky
Huh?
I'm here. It's over, Dr. Animo.
You underestimate me, Ben Tennyson.
Huh?
That was embarrassing.
A little bit.
We'll catch him next time.
That was odd.
Tomorrow I'll check on every abandoned warehouse in Bellwood.
I don't think about that too much. Like, they go to school and shit, which we don't see that much really anymore.
Would you like some grapefruit? Voudriez-vous du pamplemousse?
Oh.
Voudrez-vous?
Do you have enough pink grapefruit? Avez-vous assez de pamplemousse rose? I would like a waffle iron.
Well, such random sentences to learn this language.
We're not all as informal as your father's folks.
Mother,
Ben's table
Oh.
manners leave a bit to be desired, and Grandpa Max dresses like he's on vacation in Vegas.
who has a formal family reunion dinner?
We do.
We do.
Okay, I may have to finish tonight.
Good morning, Ben.
Aye.
Bye, Gwenny.
She's out.
How do you use a waffle iron?
He's a waffle iron.
Scribo in Incendia.
Funny. It makes oxygen from water. I'm trying to make the car submersible. You want to meet for lunch?
Want to. Not sure I can.
So we're just following Gwen around school and stuff today.
J'ai rempli.
No time for breakfast, I presume?
As usual. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, we're just following Gwen in school. Okay.
Swing by the house. My mom needs something.
I found Animo.
I didn't even know you could buy frogs at the pet store.
Snake.
Yeah, you can. Oh.
When I got married, I knew the Tennysons were a little...
Oh boy.
I had no idea.
He got away again.
I don't want you going up against Animo without me.
Exactly.
You know about that? I was in the null void for a long while. By the time I got out, I'd kinda outgrown 5th grade.
You're good at math. You know history.
So,
You
but
read
I don't know
all
if he
those
could go
books
really
in
back to
prison.
school though.
Maybe you could go for a high school equivalency degree.
Killer frogs! Come on!
Killer frogs. Oh.
Protection charm. When you need it, sound out the word on there carefully. I'm sure Ben is on the news. I'm not with him. You'll get the invitations. Promise.
Look out behind you!
Jesus. Careful, Ben.
Gwen Tennyson, this is your
Yes.
free period.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah, what?
Take over my Algebra 2 class.
me?
Missed lunch, didn't you?
She's so nice. Oh.
Every man, woman, and child, every living thing that crawls over this miserable planet.
Karate. It is so cool to see Dr. Animo like back being kind of himself again.
In or out?
Gwen!
Oh boy.
We underestimated him.
You're not coming?
Emily, Dr. Animal's trying to take over the world.
Balancing everything.
I know what's going on. It's not that I hate your cousin.
Come on, it was one date. How bad could it have been?
You left me at the top of a radio tower. You're always doing stuff I'm not a part of.
Well,
Fine. But if I get into performing arts, I'll be the one doing something without you. How often do we just hang anymore?
we've never seen this character, I don't think, until now, so good point.
Realize it was
Rip him to pieces, my pets.
Pieces. Oh. Oh, we probably need that.
In the end, you've fallen before me. While the plumbers held me, I had time to plan my revenge. So I scaled up my transmodulator array and overclocked it.
Whoa. Alright. I figured this was going to catch them, yeah. Careful. Ooh. Go crazy at the piano, damn. My god, okay. My... Took out his own frogs, it seems. Having this piano just playing over everything kind of helps with the audio too, and recording and all that. Oh my god. Damn. He's like, yeah, that little knob turn, whatever. Ooh. Back to cannonbolt again. Especially go somewhere else. Ooh. Ultimate cannonbolt. My god, this song is long. Tornado, kinda. A little bit. Spinning them. Ooh. And he's done for. Run. Just copying everybody else. Just copying. Those pictures people taking? Yeah. But how long was she actually there, though?
How was your day, Gwenny?
Oh,
you
a
know,
lot.
The usual.
And there you have it, guys. That was Season 2, Episode 10 of Ultimate Alien. It's not easy being Gwen, and it really isn't. She was having to juggle a lot of things. Now, I will say this. I think Dr. Animo, in terms of, like, being the villain of the episode, or kind of like this secondary plot that's kind of going on behind the scenes and being in the forefront at times, good choice. Dr. Animo is a classic Ben 10 villain, and the fact that he's back to kind of his old ways again, essentially, because at one point we saw him using the Null Void, and he is Dr. Animo, but not really. He's like a new version of Dr. Animo, but now he's kind of back to being himself with a bunch of giant frogs. However, the focus of the episode is not so much about Dr. Animo. It's more so about Gwen and her kind of daily life in regards to being the hero and being a part of the trio with Kevin and Ben, and also going to school, having a friend named Emily. I'm like, Emily, when have we met this girl before? I don't think we've ever met her until now. And there's even a line in the episode where they're kind of at a breaking-ish point. When do we ever just hang out? And Gwen's like, well, I know. And that kind of makes sense, because Gwen doesn't really have time. And the thing is, too, we were essentially seeing what goes down during kind of the breaking points in episodes where we jump from a night sequence to like the next night or whatever. Like, what happens during the day? For Ben, he probably goes to school, but it seemed like he was running around all day not going to school today and just running around trying to find Dr. Animo as Wildmud at one point. Even Kevin mentioned that. And Kevin doesn't go to school at all, so he's running around doing whatever the fuck he wants to. Even mentioned about him getting a GED and everything, because apparently him being in the Null Void for so long, which makes sense. Him coming out, why go back to school? He's been gone for so long, it just doesn't make sense. But Gwen's like, there's a way you could, though, because you're so smart, like it would make sense for you to. But we see what happens when they're not focusing the episode on just the storylines in terms of villains and aliens and all that kind of stuff. What is Gwen doing? She's running around doing things at school and taking tests and learning a new language, and the questions that are going on is like I want a waffle iron, and then it gives you like the actual, like, you know, the rephrasing of it in the language she's trying to learn. I think it's French or something. I think it's French, but anyways, whatever language she's trying to learn, I think it was very interesting. Like, I think it was really cool to see, like, okay, this is what she's doing outside of what we're used to seeing in Ultimate Alien. And Alien Force as well, and not so much the actual original classic series, because that was over the summer or whatever, which was like a long-ass summer. But regardless, you get my point. We get to see what kind of is going on with these characters outside. And the thing is, Gwen is dealing with her parents, which we never see her dad, by the way. It's only her mom we kind of see now at this point. But she has all this family stuff going on besides dealing with Ben, of course, being her cousin, and then there's school stuff. We really don't get to hear about it at all, except for like like a very quick throwaway line, like, "Oh yeah, there was a test. Oh yeah, you should be doing this, Ben." Like, but now we get to see her go to school and having this free lunch, free like a free break or whatever, not a free lunch break, but a free break, and then all of a sudden, she's told to teach a math class. Like that would never happen, by the way, but whatever. But she's told to ask, can you teach him a math class? Because my car got hit by a giant frog. So some weird stuff. And the fact is, you've seen some of the kids like, oh, it's Ben Tennyson. Oh, look at that. When he's out there fighting the giant frog from Dr. Animo as Humongosaur. So you see kind of like the public and kind of how Gwen's just like, oh, giving some pointers and then going back and finishing her test. I don't know. But we get to see a different side of Gwen. Now, I think what would have been interesting is if this episode was kind of broken into 3 parts, because we have 3 parts in an episode in terms of like the intro, beginning of the episode, and then there's like that little goes to black screen, and that's like go to commercial break if it was airing on TV, and then the middle section, and then we hit the commercial break black screen again for a couple seconds, and then back. That's the third act, so first, second, third. I think it would be interesting if they would have done this episode as it's not easy being being ... And then the first like couple of like 6-7 minutes or whatever is Gwen. And then the second part is maybe Kevin, and the third part is Ben. Like, what are they doing outside of being a part of the trio, basically being plumbers and going after bad guys? Like, what are their lives kind of like when they're not chasing villains? That would be interesting, because we got to see that essentially here throughout this episode, but also seeing them going crazy and stuff and fighting Dr. Animo and all the giant frogs, which is, crazy in itself. But still, we get to see a bit of that with Gwen. But I wonder, like, how it would look if we had broke up into 3 parts, like I was mentioning, with all 3 of them to see, okay, what's Kevin doing when he's not running around with Ben and Gwen? What's Ben doing when he's just kind of like, are we going to see some school stuff from him? Of course, we have to see, the Gwen side here, so that makes sense. So we already kind of knew what that would be. But that'd be cool if they would have done like a version of that story. Just to see all 3 of them. Like, outside of working together, what are they doing on their day-to-day lives? If there's nothing going on, because there's got to be some downtime, right? And we got to see that kind of here, because if Gwen was constantly having to save the world, or like constantly taking on aliens and being a plumber and everything, she would have no time for school, no time for all this stuff. In terms of Emily and her performance, by the way, I thought it was really interesting in the third act where she's playing that piano, that song, that long-ass, very complicated sounding song. And that's actually the soundtrack for pretty much all of the third act. Once the song starts, there is no other sound effects. It's just the piano, and it's just the music. Very interesting. Now, also, Gwen got there like last second. She wasn't there like for a lot of it. Now her friend didn't know that. Gwen knows that. Gwen was hardly there at all, because at points it cut back to her, and then by the time we cut to her finishing the song is when Gwen is like, oh my god. So I doubt she was there for much of it. And that it is what it is. Like, she had to stop Dr. Animo. She was a part of that process to get him stopped and everything. All the giant frogs. It was mayhem. And at one point, she almost not like passed out, because the ray from that, telescope or whatever he did to like modify that thing, it was the blast came in and almost hit Kevin, and I'm pretty sure it would have killed Kevin, I think. And Gwen was able to stop it with her shield and everything, but she almost passed out due to the process because it was so strong. So pretty brutal stuff. But yeah, so not easy being Gwen. It's not easy being Gwen. I think it was a very interesting concept. I think it would have been more interesting, in my opinion, to see all 3 of them kind of in like small little bits. Like, what are they doing outside of being a part of the plumbers and being, working together as a trio? But in terms of what they were doing this, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, or like if this was actually going to be worth watching, because there's been some Ben 10 episodes that have not been great. But I thought this was an interesting concept to kind of like see, okay, it's not just Gwen helping them and stopping villains and stuff and being a plumber. There's a lot more stuff that she's dealing with on a daily basis outside of that, in terms of her family, in terms of just small little tasks she needs to do, randomly teachers giving her the task to teach a class. I mean, come on. But it goes to show that Gwen is juggling a lot of things, and maybe Ben isn't so much, and Kevin isn't either, so maybe that's why we need to focus on Gwen, because Gwen, as we've seen throughout the show, especially Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, Gwen takes on a lot of projects, takes on a lot of things, kind of manages and handles a lot of things at once. So it makes sense to follow her specifically in this kind of format of an episode. So I understand why they just focus on Gwen. It makes the most sense because she's constantly doing stuff all the time, and it makes me appreciate the character more, because we're seeing more sides of the character outside of what we already know that she's doing on a daily basis, or what she's doing in terms of helping the show and helping push further character development and all that kind of stuff. So overall, had a pretty solid time with this episode. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. It's not easy being Gwen. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'm curious to know what you thought about the episode. Can't even talk. I'm ready to go to bed. Sorry, I think my voice didn't go out, but it's probably going to go out. But thankfully, I got this recorded now to get ahead of it. Anyways, guys, I can't wait to see what happens next week. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.